Today I'm making a more casual video about chicks and chick shredders because I'm doing some research into a more complex topic and I think I should wedge in something in between. So today's video is about the food production and how the elites try to hamper it. That has, of course, a larger context, which I have not yet done the research for. So I'm just throwing it out to you so you can maybe look it up for yourself, the details. But I can already predict for you, just for fun, that we will have a food crisis in Europe from 2021 onwards. It will, of course, slowly roll out. And we will see the first impacts. So just sorry if you're betting on it, or anybody else with money, if you're betting on it, we will have a huge price soaring from 2021 onwards. I can predict this very safely from now because the prohibitions that we already have effectively stop our farmers from working their fields. So we will have a very poor harvest in 2021, and that means that we will have a climate change crisis. At least that's what it will be claimed on. Of course, the reality is we cannot fertilize our fields. We cannot even kill the bugs anymore. So this will be a catastrophe. We will have to import food. It will be very expensive, and if you have money to bet on it, you should actually. So this is just a part of this entire development, and our elites are trying to starve us in one way or another. Of course, it will not be that we are dying of hunger, but it will be that lower ranks of society will just have to eat more flour-intense food diet, and it will cause all kind of health problems that they will be ridiculed for by the higher classes. In that line of work, our Minister of Agriculture has now stepped up a bit yesterday and announced that we should no longer be allowed to shred chicks, male chicks, from 2021 onwards. And she did so with her French colleague Didier Gillaume. They are striving to prohibit the practice all across the continent. So it's not that you can just buy some imports in the supermarket, or at least it will be more difficult to get buy eggs that are produced in the conventional manner from 2021 onwards, and that will put pressure on the prices, of course. So what are they doing, or what are we doing? What is chick shredding? If you are one like me, that means if you're not terribly smart, you probably think, wait, male chicks? Okay. So after the birth of chicks, we separate them along the sexes. The females are more valuable in the production because they lay the eggs, of course, and then also they create more breast material. And the meat of the breast is of course more valuable in the market than just some bones and wings and stuff. So they get separated from the first day on, and the males are actually immediately shredded and are then worked into isolation material and of food for other animals, something like that. And the females are then, raised to do these other things. But eventually they also die. It's not like, we are talking animals. And this makes this topic a bit difficult to discuss because many people do not really think about consequences of their actions. So if you prohibit that from happening, you have to answer the question, what happens with the male chicks? You can raise them up a bit, but eventually you also do have to kill them, don't you? There is some research or some technologies into in ovo determination whether a chick will be male or female, but these technologies have not yet arrived at a point where they can be used in mass production. So at this point in time, we do not have something that can be commercially used. And for many people, chicks just look so cute. For two reasons: they stand up upright, so they remind us of toddlers, and B, the short feathers, they look like hair, they look mammal-like, so it's like, oh, like a cute little baby, just, a little thumbling. Many people just look on the pictures, they think that looks a bit like a human being. It's just small, it has this fluffy texture, so it must be cute. And as a consequence, we are treating them as toddlers. We would not treat them the same way if we were talking about rodents. In any event, once they grow up and then actually do not look that cute anymore, they will be slaughtered also in these lines of work that claim to be organic. You sometimes have these ethic products in the supermarket that just have triple the price and claim to be more sensibly produced. And they also kill, of course, the chicks just at a later stage when they don't look as nice anymore. What I found interesting in the conversation about this, in the comment section of my favorite newspaper site, is that the left is not open to the argument of you cannot afford this. Affordability is not a relevant argument for them. You can't have them because you don't have the resources to do this. It's not an argument for the left. And I think really the problem is that many of these do-gooders have too much money. They just have a lot of money. They work government jobs that are very safe, pay very well, and they have a lot at their disposal, and they are using this for nonsense, feel-good products. They do not investigate what is it that they do right, supposedly, that others do wrong. They just point their fingers on one farmer or one production site and talk about the hair in the soup, but they are not actually evaluating what the other groups do and if their behavior is actually better than the ones they are looking down to. So we have this bourgeoisie that thinks you can eat without killing animals. We are actually, as a species, reliant on eating meat or eating eggs. We do actually need animal protein. If you do replace that with some choice selection of fruits and vegetable and so on, they usually don't just grow in your garden. That's a very difficult thing to do. You have to grow stuff in China and some stuff in Latin America, and you have to combine all of this to get all the nutrition that you actually need. This is far more detrimental to your environment than just eating the meat that you have close by. So we are talking hypocrisy here a lot, and people with too much money and who are ultimately too lazy to look into the options and to think about basic consequences of what follows from their suggestion. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.